Hello and welcome to our latest presentation on low oxygen in ARDS, the LOCO-2 trial. This trial, liberal or conservative oxygen therapy in ARDS, was published last week in NEJM from the REVA research group. So the harm of giving oxygen has already been documented in acute myocardial infarction as well as in stroke. In this particular study, they wanted to evaluate the role in ARDS. The study design was a multicentric randomized controlled trial. Computer-based randomization was performed in the blocks of 4. Randomization was stratified by age, center, severity of respiratory failure, and the doctors were unblinded to the study group. So coming to the sample size calculation, based on a power of 90%, a sample size of 850 patients would provide an ability to detect an absolute mortality difference of 9%, assuming a death rate of 30% on day 28. This would give a significance level of 0.05. It was an intention to treat analysis, but at pre-planned interim analysis after 205 patients, the Independent Data and Safety Monitoring Board decided to stop the trial because of potential increased risk of adverse events and futility. The study was conducted in 13 ICUs in France from June 16th to September 2018. The inclusion criteria was adults, intubated and receiving mechanical ventilation for less than 12 hours for ARDS according to the Berlin definition. Exclusion was use of long-term oxygen therapy, non-invasive ventilation at home, cardiac arrest, traumatic brain injury, and lastly intracranial hypertension. So let's see what were the interventions. Patients assigned to either the liberal group or conservative group. In the liberal group, they were targeted a PaO2 of 90 to 105. In the conservative group, the PaO2 target was 55 to 70. This was done over the first 7 days of mechanical ventilation or until extubation. During the 6 hours interval between the two measurements of ABG, the saturation was maintained at a level of 96% in the liberal group and 80 to 92% in the conservative group. The FiO2 was modified by a change of 0.05 every 5 minutes until the desired SpO2 target was reached. They screened 396 patients. Out of this, 191 were excluded and 205 underwent randomization. Out of this, 103 were randomized to the oxygen group and 102 to the liberal group. 4 patients were again excluded because they withdrew consent. One was legally incapable and the last developed a cardiogenic pulmonary edema. So ultimate final analysis was done with 99 patients in the oxygen group and 102 patients in the conservative group. The baseline characteristics was roughly same in both the groups. Now let's see what the intervention achieved. The FiO2s were around 60 to 70, more near to 70 in the liberal group and around 55 in the conservative group. The PaO2 difference was around 110 in the liberal group, and in the conservative group the PaO2 was maintained around 70 to 80. The saturations were 97% in the liberal group, and in the conservative group the saturations were maintained around 93 to 94. Now coming to the outcomes, there was no statistical difference between the death rates. 5 patients developed mesenteric ischemia in the conservative group while none in the liberal group. And if you look at the absolute mortality difference, there was almost 7% higher mortality in the conservative group. Looking at these values, the safety monitoring committee stopped the trial with just 200 patients. So the author's conclusion is that a conservative oxygenation strategy during the first 7 days of mechanical ventilation did not reduce the mortality at day 28. A conservative oxygen strategy during the first 7 days of mechanical ventilation did not reduce the mortality at day 28. The results suggest a clinically relevant excess of mortality in conservative oxygen group and an increased incidence of mesenteric ischemia. The trial had to be stopped early because of this risk. This study has some limitations, which are the clinicians were unblinded because obviously we can see who is receiving oxygen or not. This could have biased the clinical decision making. The study was definitely underpowered because we stopped with 200 patients when we actually required around 800. Now, stopping the study early can overestimate the effect, that is the complication, that the mesenteric ischemia. Maybe if we had included 800 patients, it wouldn't have been statistically significant, but we can never know now. Now, this is surprising. Less proning was used in the conservative group. Not sure why. Over the 7-day period, only 34% of the patients in the conservative group received proning, while in the liberal it was 51%. If you look at the tidal volumes that were given, slightly higher tidal volumes were given in the conservative group. Even the PEEP was higher in the liberal group compared to the conservative group. 10% of the patients had mild ARDS in the liberal group, while 5% had mild ARDS in the conservative group. With such small sample size, this difference can also play a part. So our take is the study definitely has some major methodological flaws. Maybe we would need more ABGs in patients with severe ARDS in whom we are targeting lower oxygenations rather than relying on saturation values. Now, we still really don't know what is the lower tolerable limit of oxygen. The study won't change our practice per se, though we will now keep in mind the mesenteric ischemia as a major risk factors in patients whom we are targeting low oxygenations. Thank you for your patience and check our website for further information.